We live. We live. We live right now. Yeah, that's it.
You're live?
Yeah, I'm live. I think that's what we got. We're gonna roll that way. I'm gonna get my water and everything. Hey, Logan, go back over there, please.
Sorry.
Go with the doggy. We live. Apparently, it's best that I go ahead and talk to the side of the mic. That makes sense. And also drink some water because my mouth isn't lubricated, which is true. That is true. And pausing a little bit, I guess, so I can pronounce my words a little bit better, something like that. But we live. Today is March 7th, 2024, and we're doing pretty good so far. Still dealing with Amazon, still dealing with that crap. Mostly done. Brand registry, as I said, is already done. And they know who I am now and all that good stuff. Just working on the variations right now. The variations need to be done. With Amazon, you can make variations, and when you do, it's a way to where you can go ahead and add like medium roast, dark roast to your whole beans or to your ground coffee. But that's what we got going. So what we're going to talk about today. Don't have too much time right now. And it is what it is, right? But what are we going to talk about today, coffee wise? uh, I think the mic arm is going pretty good so far. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm not too happy with these coffees, the Kenyan coffee. I do have another one that is supposed to be really, really good. We shall see how good it is. And I will let you know about that. I don't know which type of thing I'm going to be doing with it, but that is what it is, right? And yeah, so today's topic. I don't know. I don't know what today's topic is. I think last time I talked about coffee in general. Oh, my audio podcast went really well, at least to me. It was about 30, 30, about 18 minutes long. And now I'm doing the hard part. Apparently, in this case, all of it's hard. You record, right? And after you record, you will go ahead and do the thumbnail, title, think about that concept. And now, since it is a audio podcast and I have one view, I have to figure out a way to keep people there, which is bizarre, but that's the name of the game. I'm up to 13 subscribers as of Sunday. But coffee wise, what are we going to do with coffee? Am I just going to sell like South American coffee? Crowd pleasers? For the most part, yeah. Um, that's what's bringing in the money, right? I hate saying that, but sometimes we have to go towards the algorithm in that way to where we have to give people what they want. I can love an African coffee all day long, but people don't like it for whatever reason. They'll try it once, but they won't keep trying it. So, yeah, so that's where we're at with all this stuff, trying to figure that out a little bit more. But I mean, I knew this for a long time. Coffee is extremely subjective. but it's not, right? If somebody is telling you that they don't really like something and it's their opinion, right? But another person tells you more so the same thing, then you got to start listening, right? You got to start listening. Because if you don't, then you're going to get into really big trouble with yourself, with the products that are staying in your warehouse, whatnot. So, so you have to listen to the thought of that, right? Because if you don't, then you're going to be screwing yourself. I've noticed people tell me what they like and what they don't like all the time. And it's extremely compelling when I remember or forget that these are people who are using their money to buy something that they like. And if the descriptive nature of what I'm putting out there is what it is and they don't find it appealing, then that doesn't help out anybody, you know? So that's what we're dealing with. That's the thing that I'm trying to get after, understand, and get a strong hold of. Because if it's not done right, I think it's just going to be just rambling about nothing, not with coffee, rambling, and everyday beans and all that. So think about that for real, for real. I don't want to harp on it too much, but it's all about crowd pleasers. It's also about getting to most of the market. So if that is the Peruvians, the Mexicans, the Brazilian coffees of the world, then that's what we have to give people. You know, that's going to be the biggest thing that I have to understand to do. And it's okay. I don't have to enjoy every single coffee that I put out there. I have to do my best in order to give people what they want, right? That makes sense to me. I think so. But me trying to change the minds of the masses, that's just another thing to worry about, you know? It's already hard enough to get people to change their minds of what they're drinking daily and to see the significance of the difference of what I'm providing or what others are providing compared to what they're normally drinking, the way they go about their stuff, right? That's already a hard bargain to 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 go after, to deal with, to focus on, to making the challenge a lot harder than what it is. Okay, the challenge is what it is. It is going to be hard no matter what. This is business we're talking about. And when you compete and when you understand what you're trying to do, I think it's best and mindful that you go ahead and eliminate as many distractions as possible. Because if you don't, then there's so many variables that you have to deal with. Hell, I'm dealing with that right now. You know, for instance, with Amazon, with YouTubing, and with podcasting, with hopefully eventually some type of writing, you know, it's something that there's so many layers to this that when you're behind the eight ball, trying to give people more so something that they can grab onto, that's a lot of things to worry about. And especially in the beginning, when you're doing a lot of the work by yourself, that's something that is going to be a tough cookie to crack, right? That's the thing that I have to worry about or think about or do. I'm sure some of you guys, if you're listening, you're in business too, or you're doing some day job or whatever. You know that if you have so many different variables in order to get something done, you can get it done. Don't get it twisted. If you need to get it done, you need to get it done. But wouldn't it be a lot easier and more streamlined, and it will make more sense when you go about this in a way to where you have less variables, you have less things to juggle, to figure out, to deal with, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Hmm? I think that would be cool. So that's the thing, that this is what helps me out. A lot of times when I usually write, I have concepts in my head to get things done, right? Or I will get a epiphany of some sorts to get to the place where I am making sense with all this stuff, right? But a lot of times, like with walking, some meditation, it's a form of meditation. Same thing with this podcast with me, which is really cool, is that I can use it as a place for you, of course, but also for me, to where I can really get my thoughts out there in a different type of format, and I can talk it out and I can figure things out and I can go about this in a way to where it does make sense, or I am figuring things out. And that's what we're trying to do here, you know. But I should change this to ramblings of a philosopher. New day and age of philosophy, with podcasting, with realizations, with just rambling about nothing, and then something comes out of it, and then poof, it's meaningful, right? So that's what I got going. That's the things that I'm thinking about all the time, or sort of thinking about. I think this podcast, like I mentioned just now, has given me hope and understanding, and a realization of where I'm at with things. An honest look about direction, focus, determination, all that good stuff, fuzzy stuff, right? But yeah, it's about really understanding what's out there, what makes sense, and hopefully you get something from this too, right? I think that's what it comes down to too. Me trying to help you out in a way to where it's beyond just trying to sell you some coffee, give you tips and all that stuff. Maybe I'll be helpful too with whatever else you may be going through. You know, it was last year or something like that where I had to talk with a couple of people. They were local. They do bakery in a neighborhood close to me. They did the farmers market. I think they still do, which farmers markets or crapshoot, or fairs, or all that stuff. That's a crapshoot, whatnot. We'll talk about that another day. But I came to them with an idea, a concept of really trying to get the community going. And what that concept was or is or whatnot is a concept to where we tackle, you know, some psychological issues in a form of talking to people, everybody talking to people. And what we'll do is that we'll pick a park, pick a track, whoever wants to come out, and we'll just walk around the circles and stuff. And hopefully people will open up about something in their lives, right? A way that the community can come together. I mentioned that to them. They are like, fuck that. Didn't say fuck that, but I'm sure they said that's a little too much and all that stuff. They didn't want to do that, but it's all good because it's more so that's something I want to do. And if that's something that I want to do, then I need to make that happen, right? But again, like I said earlier, if I have so many variables, then it's just too many things to worry about, right? You have to learn to cut things out or put it on hold because even if you had a gang of people to do something, you want it to be the right stuff, right? You don't want somebody to just continue to do all this other things and it's not producing something of substance. I know that makes sense, right? So that's what I'm thinking about, talking about, trying to get to understand more so for myself than anything, I think, because that's where it comes down to me understanding where you're coming from with things. And it's going to come into place in a way to where I want to be as efficient and effective as I need to be. And as I go through this stuff, this blogging, this podcasting, this YouTubing and all that stuff, it matters how I go about it. And as I'm trying to understand, hey Alif, it's gonna take time. Like I think I hit a good place with podcasting, understanding what I'm doing, my workflow, submitting these podcasts. Probably I should put some sound on it. Let me know if you want some sound and intro and all that good jazzy podcast stuff. But right now, I'm just trying to do the basics. I'm trying to produce something that is good. I will worry about elevating it from time to time if it makes sense to. But in this case, just like with the coffees, it's about keeping it basic, giving people a reason to want to have what they're trying to have with coffee. Like I think I got one thing right now. Let me drink this water so you won't hear this. Um, is that one angle that I can do with Amazon is not produce so much coffee. Try to sell it as quickly as possible and make that one of my unique selling propositions is that it's fresh. It's fresher than any Amazon coffee. You know, we only batch order to blah, 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 which is true. I can do that. I have to do that because the logistics and money and all that good stuff. But that's going to be a selling proposition that would be helpful to people, right? Is that they would know for the most part is that they will be getting something fresh if they order all the time, no matter what, right? And it's true because that's the way I'm going to roll and pitch it and move it. And there's going to have to be more things. I have to tackle so many things out there to the point to where this is me in battle, me going into the ultimate competition world. I think I talked about it a little bit with Farmers Market is that you first you think that you're competing with a beverage company, like a lemonade stand, little kid, Boy Scout, whatever, and they're doing their lemonade stand, right? Or somebody's selling artisan tea or some shit like that. I need to stop cursing. But something like that. You think you're competing with them, so you mean mug them. You try to get a better position in the farmers market and all that stuff. And then you realize once you do a couple of these events, hopefully, is that you're competing with everybody. That person that came through the door, although hopefully it is a lot of people, you're competing for that $20 that person has. That's all they got for this thing. this farmer's market. So that's what Amazon is. Amazon is a big, big arena. You can't hide nothing. You are out there. You're putting yourself out there. You're seeing how things work and roll and all that good stuff. You're really trying to see if you can compete with the big boys, with everybody. And you think I'm talking about just coffee, talking about energy drinks. We're talking about food and other beverages and electronics and all that crap. You do got a bigger pot to play, right? Because people don't come on Amazon if they have just $20. Well, if they do, they do. But that's the thing about it. It's something to the point where you're in the ultimate competing world, and that is going to be something that I need to understand, to gravitate to. So that's what we're doing. So let me get out of here. Let's finish up this Amazon stuff. Let's get crunk with this brand registry stuff. And we're going to have a good time with this. We're going to get more frustrated. I'm not even in the arena yet. But once I get in that arena, I'm ready to fight. I'm going to be ready to fight. I'm going to be ready to challenge myself. I'm going to be ready to put these samples out there, get them out to people, see how that whirls, talk to businesses locally, and to really be in a place to where it does make sense for me, for my business, for people. So there we go. I'll talk to you later. Out.